WCBI News at 6 starts now.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Starkville. A federal investigation is underway at the Starkville Internal Medicine Clinic. Don White, Senior Media Relations Specialist with the Office of Inspector General and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, confirms a search warrant has been served. Our Quentin Smith is live in Starkville. He joins us live with the very latest. Hey, Quentin.
Yes, Scott. Agents with the Office of Inspector General of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, along with investigators from the Food and Drug Administration, executed the search warrant. So far, no arrests have been made. Now, White will not go into any further detail, but does say the mission of his office is to fight waste, abuse, and fraud in the programs of HHS. The Starkville Internal Medicine Clinic was shut down earlier today following a mid-morning visit from agents at HHS. Around 10 o'clock this morning, the waiting room was cleared and office staff were asked to leave for the day. The federal agents on site appeared to be going. We received a statement late this afternoon from OCH. It reads, in part, leadership at OCH Regional Medical Center is aware the officials from several state and federal agencies visited the office of Dr. Ben Sanford and Starkville Internal Medical earlier today. And that statement says that although the building and property is owned by OCH, it's leased by Dr. Sanford. And it goes on to say, quote, the medical practice housed at Starkville Internal Medical Clinic is nor managed by OCH. Now at this time, it's unknown if the office will be reopened on tomorrow. We're going to continue to follow this developing story, and we'll bring you the latest details as they become available. But for now, reporting live in Starkville, Quentin Smith, WCBI News.
All right, thank you very much, Quentin. We'll, of course, be following that story. Well, a teenager accused of murdering another teen makes his initial court appearance. Our Riley Livingston was at the scene today. She brings us a story.
Winona teen Markavian Merritt made his first court appearance Tuesday afternoon at the municipal court in Winona.
Winona police arrested Merritt after the shooting death of 16-year-old Tyquarius Hardiman. The shooting happened Thursday night on Silver Street. Hardiman was found lying in the street and was shot one time. Merritt turned himself in Saturday afternoon. He will be tried as an adult. Police have released very little information about what led up to the shooting or how the two teens knew each other.
Merritt has been charged with murder and has been bound over to the Montgomery County Grand Jury. His bond is set for $300,000. Riley Livingston in Winona, WCBI News.
Now, that shooting remains under investigation. Well, a four-county theft ring leads to two arrests and investigators searching for more evidence. Levi Kelly is charged with grand larceny. Taylor Johnson's also facing the same charge, but a mugshot of him was not available. The Choctaw County Sheriff's Department is investigating the thefts of ATVs, horse trailers, and cargo trailers in Choctaw, Webster, Montgomery, and Oktibbeha counties. Law enforcement in those counties are working together along with Ackerman Police. They're investigating an area along Hawkins Road in Oktibbeha and along Highway 9 in Choctaw County. Deputies believe the theft ring is tied directly to a methamphetamine operation covering multiple counties. Other arrests are expected. Law enforcement also say if you see vehicles in your area acting suspiciously or see trucks hauling ATVs that are covered with a tarp, call police. Well, two suspects are in custody, charged in connection with the death of a World War II veteran. Our Allie Martin has more on the case that has put the focus on the Oxford VA home.
This case began in April 2017 when a 93-year-old World War II veteran who lived here at the Mississippi State Veterans Home in Oxford was taken to the Regional 1 Trauma Center in Memphis. According to investigators, Durley Bratton was suffering from blunt force trauma. Jeff McCutcheon is Major of Operations with the Oxford Police Department and says authorities were notified shortly after Bratton was taken to the Memphis hospital.
Where they reported that Mr. Bratton had injuries that they felt that need to be reported, whether abuse of an adult, a vulnerable adult. Within a matter of days, Mr. Bratton lost his life due to those injuries.
The investigation led to the arrest of 25-year-old Jeannie Dunn and 41-year-old Bridget Austin. They are charged with manslaughter, culpable negligence. Both women worked at the veterans home helping care for Mr. Bratton. Police say the World War II veteran fell or was dropped by the two workers and then they put him back into his bed. Authorities say the incident was never reported.
And it was a matter of time, hours, 12 to 24 hours before someone found him. And at that point, he had suffered the trauma that he did that caused the loss of life.
The case will now go to the next grand jury, who will decide if there's enough evidence to bring indictments. In Oxford, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Bond for Austin and Dunn is set at $250,000 each. They're being held in the Lafayette County Jail. Well, Oktibbeha County first responders are searching for a missing teenager tonight. 17-year-old Janiah Jackson was last seen this afternoon going into a wooded area near Campus Airport Road. Deputies say they just want to make sure she's okay. Jackson is about 5'2" tall and weighs about 105 pounds. Right now, a command post has been set up at Campus Airport Road and Old West Point Road near the Clay County line. If you know where Jackson is tonight, you're asked to call 911 or the Oktibbeha County Sheriff's Office. Well, time now to get a first look at our forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Hey there, Keith.
Hey, Scotty, live look in downtown Louisville, Mississippi. You can see some of those clouds building up to the west and southwest of town. Temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s. If we haven't had rain in your backyard, if you have, well, you've been dipping down into the 70s. Here's a live look at our Doppler radar. We have a few blips there southwest of Starkville. West of West Point, we've been watching some rain out towards Winona, too. And also back to the north, some additional cells trying to form, but not a lot going on farther north. We had a big blossom effect with some showers and storms earlier today. A lot of this will be going away shortly here over the next couple of hours. 70s later this evening and 70s for lows tonight. Another quiet and muggy night. We'll do this all again tomorrow, Scott. Get ready. The full forecast in just a few minutes.
It's definitely muggy out there. All right, thanks, Keith. Well, the Twin States have a lot of miles to cover, but not so many troopers to cover them. Mississippi has made some headway recently, graduating a new class of troopers. Meanwhile, Alabama is still in the middle of a manpower shortage. That's something they're hoping to change. Now, there are several reasons for this shortage in Alabama, and because of it, several counties may not have but one trooper in their borders. However, making some tweaks to their application process, Highway Patrol looks to put more troopers on the road almost twice as fast as normal. Our Parker King has more.
Get pretty interesting. Yeah. Alabama's Highway Patrol Division is understaffed. The main reason is more people are retiring than the agency is hiring.
Back in the mid to late 90s, you had a bunch of big hiring classes, and then as we've gone on, all those big classes that we've hired, they're starting to get their time in, and people are retiring.
Sergeant Chris Barnes is the post commander in Hamilton. He's been with Alabama's Highway Patrol for 22 years and has seen the numbers drop to where it's become a concern.
It puts a strain on manpower. You try to cover as best you can, whether it's responding to accidents or, enforcing traffic laws or assisting motorists. You just try to cover it the best you can.
Barnes says the current number of troopers is 361. While that may sound like a lot, it really isn't when you spread that across the state's 67 counties. You might get around 5 or 6 troopers per county.
That's not saying that you have that amount in each county. There's some counties you may have one, there's some counties you may have none.
To get more troopers, Barnes says the Alabama Highway Patrol is offering an abbreviated academy. Normal academies for troopers can take over 20 weeks to complete. In Alabama, if you've already been through a law enforcement academy, that time's cut in half to 10 weeks.
So it naturally speeds up the process of putting somebody through the academy and then getting them out on the road.
Something as appealing as a shortened academy can give Alabama's Highway Patrol a leg up on the competition. For now, it's business as usual on the road.
Until those numbers do come up, we're going to keep doing what we're supposed to do, and we're going to do the best we can, and we're going to do the best we can to be there for the people.
Now, Barnes says the budget is allowing the hiring of 60 more troopers, and Highway Patrol is looking to start their abbreviated academy in August, hoping to get more troopers on the roads as soon as possible. Well, still ahead at 6, a major employer in Chickasaw County is expanding its presence. We find out what keeps this company on the move when we come back.
I was like, hey! It's like, hey, bestie!
Welcome back, everyone. Business is moving forward in Houston, and the economic impact is being felt across Chickasaw County. Expansion is underway for one company in town. Jory Talley, she joins us live in the studio with more. Hey, Jory.
Hey, Scott, that's right. Franklin Corporation has been the heartbeat behind economics for Houston and Chickasaw County for years. And as its heart continues to beat, success flows throughout the area.
Franklin Corporation is growing even more on Franklin Drive. A 60,000 square foot warehouse designed to house imported components will soon be sitting on this lot.
We've used these components and put in our factories, and actually they filled up our factories and taken away production space. So we're building this warehouse to move all these components, cut and sew cover kits, other components that we're sourcing into this warehouse, which will be somewhat of a high-tech warehouse.
The expansion will free up space, and with more space comes more room for growth, which leads to JOBs.
This will really give us room in both of our plants to probably put a couple additional lines in each plant after we move these raw materials out of our plant. So it will going forward.
And when the global plant moves forward, so does Houston.
We are thriving. We're moving things forward. We're trying to help this community bring jobs, and because everything's relative. What we do downtown, what we do to our neighboring inner city part of things, our infrastructure.
Mayor Stacey Parker says more jobs mean everything to a community with less than 4,000 people.
Tax base that's going to be created. Not only that, you got people, the extra 60 people that are going to be here living, that hopefully will spend their money, which is sales tax, and now as we've got the tourism tax, that's even more for our tourism tax dollars to increase, which we can do more.
Construction for the new warehouse is expected to be complete by early November.
All right, a mix of sun and clouds across the region right now. There's our Alpha Insurance camera network. We are going to do all of this again tomorrow. More pop-up showers and storms, more humidity. Full forecast is next.
Your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
We're just racing through the work week. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Highs in the low to mid 90s. A few pop-up showers and storms. The rain change about 30%. Warm and sticky locally and across the region here in Mississippi and Alabama. So there you have it. More of the same old song and dance. This is what we had today in Columbus. Our Alpha Insurance camera time lapse. A mix of sun and clouds, warm and steamy, and then we got soaked about 4 o'clock. Look at that downpour right there. Some of you didn't see anything at all today. Some of you got very, very wet. We still have some downpours out there. Southwest of Starkville, that thing's falling apart. Northwestern Clay County right there, a little bit of some rain and some rain north of Eupora right now, but few and far between is the rain at this point. Still some cells popping up in and around the vicinity of Winona, and we've been watching a few cells here in north and northwest Mississippi, but that's what you see, and that's what we're going to get for this evening. It looks like this morning, not a lot of action by late in the morning, about 11 o'clock. Notice how the clouds started to bubble on up, and then by early afternoon, we saw some stronger storms start to develop here across west Alabama and southeastern parts of our coverage area near Columbus, and then that is going away. So that was what happened today, and that is what is likely going to happen tomorrow. With the heating of the day, we'll pop up the showers and storms and really get things going here as we go throughout the course of our Wednesday. So Futurecast doing a pretty good job picking up on the lack of activity right now. That will go away by midnight. We'll flare up more showers and storms tomorrow across the region. Notice that. That will go away tomorrow evening. And more showers and storms will pop on up with the daytime heating on Thursday. So random activity right now. Some of you will get wet, some of you will not. And primarily from late morning through the early to mid-evening hours will be the best chance of rain here. So a low 70s tonight to mid-70s tomorrow, back into the 90s. There's your planner. Much like today, widespread low to mid-90s. The heat index may creep into the low triple digits. There is Hurricane Chris. It was upgraded to hurricane status as of 4 o'clock, and it is moving to the northeast at 10 miles per hour away from the United States. Pop-up showers and storms around here, more mountain storms out there across the west. Typical summer weather for this time of year. The jet stream is riding well to the north across southern Canada and the northern tier, so all of the active weather is really going to stay away from us. We will have these showers and storms that will pop up during the daytime heating with all that juiced up air we have in place. So for the next 7 days here, highs for the most part low to mid-90s. The heat index may be getting into the triple digits there, perhaps as warm as 105, and overnight lows down into the 70s. So fairly stable for the next 7 days.
The Sulligent Blue Devils look to repeat its special season from a year ago. We preview the blue and white next on the high school football tour. Stay with us.
One, two, three, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
WCDI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Alabama Week continues on the high school football tour, checking in with the Sullivan Blue Devils. What a year for the Blue Devils in 2017, coming this close to a state championship appearance. A very talented senior class has moved on, but this year's bunch is looking forward to turning some heads come this fall.
WCDI's 60 Schools in 60 Days is brought to you by Coca-Cola, Powerade, Gary's Pawn and Gun, and Browning.
"2017 saw the best football season at Sullivan in nearly a decade. The Blue Devils finished 12-2, going a perfect 6-0 in the division to capture the Region 8-2A title, but came a game short of a state championship appearance, falling to Lynette in the semifinals.
Being that close, really hurt to lose, being that far in the season. And the kids, they want to win, so, they're putting the work in this summer to do that.
18 seniors graduate from last year's Final Four team, meaning it's time to reload in Sullivan. Head coach Daniel Merchant says there will be a lot of new faces in the blue and white, but the younger guys are ready to make some noise.
It's a motivation because people expect big things. A lot of pressure on us. People are always talking about how great of a season we had last year, but I believe we can have just as good of one this year.
We were really more confident than I thought we was going to be at this time in the summer, and we've got after it pretty good in the weight room this summer, and I expect to see that translate to the field this fall.
No matter what kind of success comes to Sullivan or the roster turnover from the year before, the Blue Devils keep the chip on their shoulder, hoping to prove any doubters wrong. The 2018 team is no different than years past, looking to put Sullivan into the title game for the first time since 2008.
It'd mean a lot to the town. It'd be real important to me because, played football my whole life, and that's the main goal, win state championship.
We want to be the best around in this area, the strongest. That's what we want to be known for, that mental toughness, that physical toughness, and I guess that'll be the motivator. We'd try to prove people wrong this year.
Sullivan begins its season with a road trip to meet with Barry Fayette. With the Blue Devils on the high school football tour, Tom Ebel, WCBI Sports.
60 Schools in 60 Days with Sullivan High School was brought to you by Vernon Medical Clinic, Shop and Save, Vernon Dental Clinic, and Alpha agent Alicia Clark in Vernon.
The Alabama Crimson Tide were able to fight through linebacker injury after another last year on its way to a national championship. And the Tide will have to do it all over again this upcoming year. Junior linebacker Terrell Lewis tore his ACL while training, Alabama Athletics confirming Tuesday. Head coach Nick Saban says Lewis underwent successful surgery and his return timetable is unknown. Lewis missed 10 games last season with an arm injury, and sophomore linebacker Vandarius Cohen was dismissed from the team Monday due to violation of team rules. So linebacker depth already becoming an issue for the defending national champions. Mississippi State Baseball's Jordan Anderson announces on his Twitter account that he will be transferring from the program. Anderson will transfer to Chipola College in Florida. The freshman outfielder batted .313 in 15 plate appearances for the Bulldogs, recording 3 RBIs and 11 runs. That'll do it for sports for tonight. We'll have a last look at your forecast coming up after the break.
We have some clouds, some showers, and some sunshine across our area right now. So I think we're going to have another one of those colorful sunsets, so be alert for that for the next hour and a half or so. By 8 or so, we may see a pretty nice colorful sunset depending on where you are. For tomorrow, the next couple of days, highs in the low to mid-90s, pop-up showers and storms. Some of you will get soaked like we got here in Columbus. Some of you saw nothing but some heat today. So
on my way to Starkville and back this afternoon, I don't know how I had a little shower, but I missed like the pour. Thank God.
It was just south of 82, so you dodged it. But it was wet.
Good deal. It was. All right. Thanks, Keith. Thanks for watching. We'll see you right back here tonight at 10.